So Twitter isn't exactly the place for harmony and good vibes and friendly spirit. It's full of people arguing and bitching and voicing their opinions about things, and some things perhaps they probably should have kept to themselves. And I'm sure many of us have, made an angry tweet now and then, whether it just be something on our mind or maybe at a company aimed towards a brand. I'm looking at you, Sky Broadband. And sometimes when you make these angry tweets, as soon as you hit that tweet button, there's this sense of achievement. I've done something, I've said something, I'm strong in my opinions. And then there's, a sense of questioning yourself, should I have done that? Do I look like an asshole? And then you calm down, and then there's the immediate need to delete that tweet before anyone sees it and takes a screenshot and then saves it for the rest of the world to see. Hopefully you're not saying anything that offensive on Twitter, but we all know it's happened. So today we are looking at some infamous, now deleted tweets from the beauty community, beauty brands, whoever and whatever. These tweets have now been long deleted, and they probably wish they never made them in the first place. Consider subscribing, give this video a thumbs up, follow me on Twitter, Instagram for exclusive content that you won't see over here on YouTube. Okay, let's start with our girl Jaclyn here. Accusing people of having dry lips. Yes, we'll get more into it. So you may be aware, as I was saying, that Jaclyn Hill launched her own brand in 2019, and she started off with lipsticks, 30 shades of nudes to be precise. She took to YouTube and posted a video introducing Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics, where she showed us her new products, those now infamous lipsticks. 20 lipsticks, sorry, not 30, for all skin tones. That's actually a good amount in my opinion, for everyone. And also, how many new lipsticks do you have in your collection right now? Let's be real. I think I have about 20 also. Half of them are out of date, but you can never have enough nudes. The whole set she was selling them for $30. No, but she wasn't, $300. My apologies. That's not bad. If you were a big fan of Jaclyn Hill, it had her name across the whole box and it was her. There was a lot of build up of anger aimed at Jaclyn Hill and Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics. Her name was the brand after all, and it was her brand, supposedly. We know better now. But there was a lot of anger throughout the checkout process and after people actually received their products, and while they were waiting for them too. It wasn't good. It wasn't swift in any way. Prices were too high. Shipping was too high. International countries, you live somewhere else other than the US and Canada, good luck. Good luck getting these lipsticks. And as I said, anger was building also from her hardcore fans over people that really support her, had enough, they were getting a bit pissy. People started to receive their lipsticks broken, full of metal, hairy, full of bits of plastic, gritty, full of shards of things that we don't know what they are, and random balls. But we can get into that another time. I know you've all asked for it, but this is about a deleted tweet, right? So people took to Twitter @ing Jaclyn Hill, @Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics. They were angry, and rightly so. These lipsticks that they had received were not up to standard for anything. So this is where our deleted tweet comes in. Someone who ordered one of these lipsticks in the shade Decaf, which actually looks like a really nice brownie, a light coffee, it looks really beautiful, tweeted asking why their lipstick was lumpy. That's a good question. If I ordered anything that wasn't meant to be lumpy and it was lumpy, I think I would be a bit like, why is this lumpy? So this was Jaclyn Hill's response, okay? You posted swatches 2 days ago loving the lipsticks. Now you're wondering why it's lumpy? It's obvious this lipstick is used and not fresh from the factory, like any other lipstick. If you use it over other products, have dry lips, things like this can happen. Here's the deal, right? Here's the deal. Countless people have been tweeting, discussing about balls of things in their lipsticks, plastic, hair, fibers. And you're going to say that because this person used the lipstick, swatched it, and maybe used it over dry lips, this is why your lipstick is in that state and crappy? Yeah, no, not at all. Not one bit. Listen, I use a lipstick on dry lips and it doesn't turn into this. It doesn't turn into this moldy looking, distorted product just because you use it over dry lips or swatch it. It shouldn't look like that after one use, no matter what you've done with it, unless you rubbed it in some unknown materials. In my mind, right, it's like Jaclyn has seen all these tweets about her, the failure of her first launch, basically. All these things in this lipstick that looked like somebody had just mixed in lipstick with building site debris and then put it into tubes of lipstick. Seen all these complaints, seen all this anger, and it was building up. She's like, I don't know what to do with this. The disappointment, maybe guilt, anger that she took it out on this person in this one tweet accusing her of having dry lips. It's not my fault my lips are crappy. You have dry lips. It's not my fault there's metal on my lipstick. Your lips are dry. She deleted this tweet, but as I said, it only takes a second for someone to screenshot it and share it onto wherever. Someone then tweeted with a screenshot of Jaclyn's original tweet. She already deleted that tweet, but no worries, baby. I got the screenshot. Own your shit, Jaclyn. What the fuck are you afraid of? That was kind of intense, to be fair. To which Jaclyn replies, I'm not afraid of anything, but I realized it seemed much more harsh than it sounded in my mind, so I deleted it. I'm not running from anything, honestly. Honestly, I mean, I don't think that original tweet needed a reply, but maybe an apology from Jaclyn Hill, because it was a little bit like, I realized it might have seemed a bit harsh. In what other way are you saying it? And you know what? Sometimes lipsticks don't go on dry lips well. Fact. But the thing is, when loads of people are complaining about the state of your lipstick and you're gonna blame this situation on dry lips, it just doesn't add up. It doesn't seem harsh, it just seems like misdirected anger, in my opinion. Then the person who posted this original picture of this lipstick, the original tweet, came in and said, I wasn't trying to be a jerk or anything, the lipsticks are the best. I just really wanted an answer because I've never experienced that before. Plus the other 4 I received have no issues. Okay, no, literally, quite literally, these lipsticks are not the best. Literally, that's not a matter of opinion. They are not the best. This is quite literally the worst lipstick launch in the history of makeup. Fact. It was a shit show. Everyone knows it. Mistakes were made. Metal in lipsticks, it's not the best. It's not the best. Okay, let's move on to our next tweet. And this is from Tampax, the brand who make tampons. So Tampax made this tweet, and this was kind of around the time, you know, when everyone's like, oh no, oh my god, Twitter's shutting down. And they basically tweeted something like, oh, we couldn't let Twitter shut down without sharing this tweet. And it was one of their own tweets. And it said, you're in their DMs, we're in them. We are not the same. So this sparked outrage for loads of different reasons, and some support. I don't know how to feel about this from a cis man's point of view. Personally, as a very prudish English person, I don't like the tweet. I think it's quite crude. I'm not into it, and because I think quite deeply about these things, I think about people who follow them. You know, I had friends very young in school who started their periods at a really young age, and this kind of content, this kind of joke perhaps isn't appropriate for that age group. Now, being on Twitter at that age probably isn't appropriate either, because the stuff you come across on there is probably not young people appropriate. But you know, somebody in a modern day and age, somebody who started their period might follow Tampax, you know, for, I don't know, period advice, you know, things like that. And then they see this tweet. There's a lot of opinions on each side of this. And let me just tell you something. I'm not going to go into this much further from me because I don't know what to say about it. But if you're going to look into it, let me just leave you with this thought, right? If you don't have time, which a lot of us don't, for incel men giving their opinion on how anyone with a vagina should feel about their own bodies in this joke, please don't bother looking into it, because these videos will exhaust you. They are, oh, there's one, oh, he was vile. I'm not even going into it. He was so gross. Now, this is one that I'm not gonna get into like the history of how this came about, because there's so much and it's so exhausting and actually kind of boring. But we're talking about the Shane Dawson toxic beauty community tweet. This period of time was so unusual, right? So Shane Dawson was doing this thing where he was pretending to be interested in the beauty community and makeup and doing makeup reviews and all this stuff. Basically, he saw the potential money making in the beauty space and releasing a palette, and did this whole thing with Jeffree Star, you know, the, what's it called? Oh fuck, what was it called? Conspiracy palette. Now, let me just tell you something, right? During this time, I get tagged in a lot of like Instagram posts or TikToks at Robert Welsh. What do you think of this technique? And it's usually like a makeup technique, right? People are asking me as a makeup artist with my years and years and years of experience in the makeup industry, what I think about certain things. And then suddenly I would get tagged and all this stuff. For example, hey, would this concealer application work? At Robert Welsh, at Shane Dawson. And I was, you know, thinking like, that man's been interested in makeup for a week. How are you tagging him alongside me? Are we gonna give the same advice? I'll let Shane answer this one. I'll let him answer this one, you know? Like, what? Anyway, so Shane Dawson said he was going to start this makeup channel where he was going to do like reviews and all this kind of stuff, called it Shane Glosson for some reason. I like do makeup tutorials over there. Listen, anyone can do that. Everyone has an opinion, but just do it and go into it. This was obviously just prep for the new makeup palette that they were releasing. Loads of drama happened, etc, etc. Close. But it's this tweet we're looking at, and I was just like, okay. So he tweeted out 4 screenshots of like a notepad statement. And this is a part we're gonna look at. For those of you who aren't familiar, a notepad statement is when you go into the notes app on your phone and write something out and then just screenshot it and tweet the picture of it. So you don't have to write it out on Twitter and run out of room. And it's this part in particular I wanna take a look at. Now onto my final thoughts on the beauty world and my experience in it. The beauty world, right? The Conspiracy palette was one of the best experiences of my life. The series of Jeffree changed my life and changed me as a person. It helped me be more confident and stand up for myself, which I've always been bad at. So to honor the series and what I learned from it, I'm going to say this. The beauty gurus who are always involved in scandals are all the fucking same. They are all attention-seeking, game-playing, egocentric, narcissistic, vengeful, two-faced, ticking time bombs ready to explode, and I'm over it. Yes, they are talented, creative, smart, and love makeup, but they also joined a side of the internet that is just obsessed with looks, money, power, fame, screenshots and subtweets. And then he moved on to say, but as far as being in the beauty world, I can't take the drama anymore. And it's not how I am wired, so I'm out. Now listen, I'm just gonna say to this, your vibe attracts your tribe, right? Let's talk about beauty community and who you're associating yourself with. Granted, I don't live in the US, but in the UK, also, we don't seem to have those issues because everyone's just fucking nice. No one's egocentric, no one's egotistical because you're just an influencer, that's it. But how are you gonna be part of a community for a week? You can't explore all parts of that community, have one bad, time and then leave. I just call everyone toxic and leave. Let's stay on that toxic wave and let's talk about James Charles, his tweet aimed at Alicia Keys. So before we all knew what the brand Soul Care was going to be about, Alicia Keys' skincare brand, we all thought, or it got hinted that she was coming out with a makeup line. And at one point, a makeup line with the brand e.l.f. And some people were getting like a little bit shitty about it. Alicia Keys is known recently to not wear makeup because she doesn't like, some of the ideology behind women wearing makeup, which is absolutely fair. So thinking about that though, again, before we knew it was a skincare brand, if Alicia Keys is coming out with a makeup brand, you are going to be a little bit like, why she doesn't wear makeup? But then also, if you think about it, she could be coming out with something like tinted lip balms, tinted blushes, which she did, which are beautiful. Very lightweight, skincare-esque products with a little bit of pigment to it. And this was in the hype of influencers releasing makeup, skincare, beauty brands, so it was kind of like, oh no, not another one. However, this boy tweeted out, people who don't wear makeup should not be coming out with makeup brands, but that's just my opinion. And actually quite a few people had things to say about this, but we're gonna focus on this deleted tweet, because this is a deleted tweet from James Charles. Again, at this time, we had no information. We didn't know it was a skincare brand. We didn't know anything. It could have been fucking candles. It could have been anything. It could have been anything, but yet for some reason there's this defense up for, oh my god, Alicia Keys, calm the fuck down. I very much doubt, if you use logic and common sense, that Alicia Keys is going to come out with a makeup brand. Skincare makes sense. She doesn't wear makeup anymore, so she looks after her skin a lot more than normal. Definitely makes a lot more sense than Brad Pitt or Ellen DeGeneres coming out with her own brands. But all this anger was directed at Alicia Keys before anything had even happened, before anyone got a chance to use these products, before we even knew what these products were. And based on a few rumors, it was stupid. The response was then this from James Charles when he was kind of called out for it. Yesterday I posted a subtweet about how I thought some celebrities shouldn't launch makeup lines. It was about Alicia Keys. A few years ago, she announced that she no longer would wear makeup, so I was bothered because many celebrities came into the beauty space as a cash grab without any actual passion and then leave. I deleted the tweet after a few minutes because it's childish to indirectly tweet someone, and I am not the gatekeeper of makeup. Are you sure about that? Because you're acting like it. Anyone should be able to secure their bag, and it's not up to me which brands people should and shouldn't support. I'm now glad that I did delete it because after reading further, I learned that the beauty line is skincare. This was my mistake, and I should have read more before tweeting, because literally who better to talk about keeping your skin clear without makeup? Regardless of my intention with my tweet, it ended up being a microaggression against someone I respect. So to Alicia Keys, I owe a direct apology. I'm sorry. It wasn't my place to gatekeep this industry, and I can't wait to support and try out the products, and I know the brand will be worth $1 billion in a few years. Here's the deal, right? You're all fine to have your own opinion. However, I do feel when you have a huge following, you shouldn't, as said, gatekeep, not even a community, industry, a whole industry. The makeup industry has been around thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years before your birth, and after you will die. It will be here and it will continue to grow and carry on. Your blip within that industry, give a fuck. And it's fine to have your opinion once the brand has launched and you know what it is, and then it doesn't make sense, rather than being like pointing fingers saying, oh yeah, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't be launching a brand, you don't know what it is yet, at least wait till it's launched. Okay, I'm all done for today. If you want to watch more videos like this, check out this playlist here. Consider subscribing, give this video a thumbs up, and as always, I love to hear your opinions down below in the comments. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you very, very soon. Bye.